All right, what is going on? Welcome to this video. In this training, what I'm going to do for you is I'm going to break down for you exactly how it is that I build online fitness coaching businesses. This is the content and client system. I'm going to give you a high-level overview. You're going to see we're going to work through some different charts and flow charts and things like that. And then at the very end, I'm going to include a simple call to action if you would like to get my help installing some of the stuff we're talking about here today, how it is that you can go about doing that. But first of all, let's talk about who this is for and who it's not for. So this is for the visionary leaders who you're here because you actually want to build a real business. Like you have dreams and you have a vision of building something real, building something beyond just being this, small little fitness coach who just like kind of has their little following, that posting some content. Like you actually want to build something real. And right now you're probably at a place in business where, you've probably gone through some programs, but you're just reaching a point where like you've just like outgrown those basic, like getting started sort of business tactics. You refuse to stop. You know that you're meant for more. Again, you know that you can build something, you can make a real impact and actually build a movement and build a real business here. But again, right now you're just feeling stuck, you're frustrated, you're growing slower than you like because again, you've just out-leveled a lot of those beginner level tactics and the entry level things. So again, the goal of this video is I'm going to break down for you the simple systems that I use to build businesses. Now, all of this is based on 9 years of personal experience building my own online fitness coaching businesses, as well as over the last 4 years of mentoring, coaching, and consulting with other online fitness coaches specifically. All right, so that is just literally where I'm going to speak from, is just from personal experience, things that I've done, things that I've helped people do, and what I have seen to be successful. So the problem that I see inside of the market and with coaches that I talk to is lots of people are stuck, and they're not stuck because they're not doing the work. They're not stuck because they're lazy. They're not stuck because of any sort of reasons like that. They're stuck because, again, they've out-leveled a lot of the entry-level tactics, which quite literally is just that. It's just tactics. And the thing that they're actually missing right now in their business is clarity, it's simplicity, it's structure. Like they have no real business plans or business systems or processes or operations inside of the business itself. And so a lot of it is just kind of this like holistic thing that got them started, where they kind of just got hoorah and some motivation and some excitement, and they started posting some content. They probably got a DM script, they started messaging some people, but there's no real actual business plan. There's nothing here that actually has a foundation that can be scaled, that can be grown, where we actually can, again, build a real business. And so they're stuck again for these reasons. There's no real direction. It's just kind of like ADHD brain, where there's just like lots of different ideas and things that are thrown around. A lot of times when I talk to coaches like this, they feel as if their business right now is just being ran from idea to idea. It's like, well, I tried something out, and it didn't really work. So then we got like a new idea and we tried something else out. Like there's no real direction. There's no solid foundation. Number two is that their business over time, they've been doing this for a year, 2 years, 3 years often. And the business just becomes it's just too complex. There's just way too many things, all these different ideas, all these different projects, all these different open loops. They all just kind of stack on top of each other. And so oftentimes what I end up finding with the coaches that come to me, they like feel this way. When we actually start working together, it's interesting. Instead of adding things to their business, a lot of times we spend upwards of the first 90 days literally just deleting and simplifying and getting rid of 80% of the stuff that actually exists inside their business, so that we can streamline this thing, we can make it simple again, so that we can actually have something that can be stable, that can be consistent, and that can grow. And ultimately, really, again, this is just a little bit repetitive, but there's just no system, there's no daily structures, there's no way that they actually make sure that leads are getting generated, sales calls are being booked, new clients enrolled. Again, there's just no actual real process to this thing. It's just kind of waking up, posting some content, hoping that we get leads, hoping that we calls, hoping that we actually get clients this month, rather than being predictable and sustainable. So this just gets frustrating because it just feels like you should be doing more. It feels like, hey, there's just got to be something that's missing. Like you can see it, like you've done the mindset work and you continue to do the mindset work. Like you believe you can be successful, but it's just like, why am I just not getting it? Like what's missing? What's that piece? That's literally like what I want to help you with here. So, you see other coaches winning. I get it. It's totally frustrating. It's like, why is it not happening for me? So let's talk about the logistical reasons of why this exists. Number one, you're invisible. Just quite literally not enough people know who it is you are, what it is you do, how it is you can even help them. Your content is not converting. It's not actually creating demand. It's not bringing you daily inbound leads and people to talk to. You're booking less than 3 sales calls per week. People don't actually stay inside the program. They don't pay. They don't refer once you have gotten a sale. And so all of these issues just stack up, where you're just constantly stuck on this client signing hamster wheel. The only thing you can think about is, how do I get more clients? How do I get more leads? How do I get more calls? But you never actually move into that next stage, like, cool, like how do I actually begin growing and expanding this thing? And how do I go from 15 clients to 30 clients to 50 clients? Like how do I actually like grow and expand and scale this thing? So this is why and how the content and client system works. I broke it into 3 kind of pillars here that I want to just like walk you through in some flow charts that I will break down for you. So problem number 1 is most coaches are not selling something that is unique and different. And this is the worst way to grow your business. When you were just showing up, like most coaches right now, they're just selling the 12-week program with macros and 24/7 check-ins. They're selling it for like $1,000, $1,500, Everybody's saying the same thing. Everybody's pitching the same thing. And what they're told to do, the advice they're given is like, oh, we'll just make it irresistible. And what irresistible looks like is make bigger promises, put a guarantee on this thing. Like, this is how we're going to actually get clients. And again, this is the worst way to grow your business. You don't want to grow a business off the back of making big promises, wild guarantees, telling people like, hey, I'll help you lose 45 pounds in 90 days, or else I'll work with you for free until you do, or like, hey, I'll give you your money back. Like, this is the worst type of client to be signing. This is the worst way to grow your business. Instead, you want to sign people who sign up to your program because they believe in you, right? They're there not because you made some wild claim or some wild guarantee. They're there working with you because you have a unique worldview, you have a philosophy, you have ideas, you have frameworks, like you have things that are actually attractive. And you've won people over through your marketing and your sales efforts by actually being unique, by actually being different, by actually positioning yourself as a leader who has authority, who has this interesting perspective, and they believe that you can actually help them, versus, again, just being this very used car salesman, irresistible offer type thing, throw a guarantee on it, money back, insane claims. Like, that is going to be the worst way to actually think about growing your business. So you need an offer that you're actually proud to sell, something that you back 100%, something that is your worldview, it's your beliefs, it's grounded in your values, and just like how it is that you actually view the world. It's not just about creating something that sounds good. It's not about just slapping a money back guarantee on this. You want to create something where people come in, they're a good values and morals and lifestyle, like alignment, like fit for you. So that when they come in, it's like, dude, this is the perfect program. This is the program I've been looking for. They stay in it. They actually want to refer people to it. And you actually build like a real culture and a real movement. This is step number one to not only getting sales, but getting the right sales, and ultimately to client retention, and making sure that because you signed the right people, because you brought in the right client in the first place, they actually do stay with you. And we're not always having to, it's like we build recurring revenue. We actually build, stable money inside of the business, and we're not always having to go and chase down new sales. Now, here's just a couple examples. This is my wife. This is myself over here in the fitness business that I built. It's the 4 Ps. Like, we have to get clear on again, just like actually figuring out like what is it that you do? What is unique? What is different? Getting clear on who is the person, the problem, the promise, and the process of your actual business. Now, most people understand the person that they want to help. They understand the problem that they solve. A lot of times not on the level they actually need to actually be effective instead of marketing sales. But most people have actually been through an avatar worksheet, and that's a really good first step and a good first place. But if we really want to begin digging into this, we need to start getting clear promises, giving people realistic expectations, and developing out a unique process. So I say this kind of joking, but back here I actually have a lot of Louis Simmons textbooks and some of his DVDs. Like, I got a bunch of lifting textbooks back here. And I kind of joke about this, but I always tell my clients, I'm like, you should literally be able to write like textbooks explaining your philosophy to people and like how it is you actually help them. Like, you need to be that clear on how it is you actually help people, because marketing is just communicating to people like ultimately what it is you're going to deliver to them. So most coaches, they just don't have any sort of promise inside of their marketing. Again, if they do, it's like a wild guarantee or a wild claim. They don't actually have a real promise. And almost no coach that I talk to has an actual process that's ironed out, that's been broken into, unique mechanisms, into a client journey, and just like an actual understanding of their philosophy and what it is they actually do. So this is step number one, is we have to move from thinking about irresistible to how do we create something that's unique and different? How do we just sell something that stands out from the rest of the market? Number two, now that we have something that's unique and different to actually sell, we need to begin showing up as a leader, not just a content creator. So most coaches, this is literally the reason. First of all, they're just not even clear on what it is they're selling, how it is they're unique, how it is they're different. They're not even really sure. Like, they're getting on sales calls, and honestly, they're not even really sure like what it is they're actually selling. I was talking to a client the other day, and we had been doing a lot of this work, and he was like, dude, he's like, it's literally like I was just marketing into thin air before. He's like, I can see that I was just kind of winging stuff and like making stuff up because I wasn't actually clear on my process. I wasn't clear on my philosophy and my unique ideas, right? But once we understand these things, we can actually show up as an actual like real leader. So most coaches, the reason why they're not winning online is they're focused on all the wrong places. They're not showing up in a way that actually creates authority. They're not showing up in a way that positions their business to actually create demand and to create inbound leads. And so as a result, they just have to do lots of chasing, right? They have to send hundreds of DMs. They have to do all kinds of like scholarships and discounts and quick action plays. And they have to be super desperate because, again, like their ideas and their actual like program itself is not good enough to just win people over on its own. And so instead, they have to insert all kinds of like fake scarcity, fake urgency, fake promos. Like, they just have to make things up all the time and do all these gimmicks because their business in and of itself, their program and their offer in and of itself is just not good enough to actually land clients on its own. Their social media, again, it's not warming people up. They have no systems and process for nurture. Their content is just not clicking. It's not hitting. It's not pre-selling people. And so again, you just have to chase. Not enough people know who they are. They just don't have a big enough audience. Not enough people know what they do. Their content is not communicating properly to people. People don't understand how they can actually even help. And so it just feels spammy and annoying. It feels a bit helpless. Not to like play into like victimhood or anything, but it really does. It just kind of feels like you kind of just throw your hands up in the air where it's just like, I don't really know what to do. And so again, you start reverting to short-term stuff, short-term tactics, short-term plays, dragging people across the line, fake promos, fake scarcity, and just really being desperate to actually try and fill your program, all right? Content's inconsistent. When I look at their profiles, it's just like random reels. It's recycled ideas. They're just copying viral trends. There's just no real clear message to rally behind. There's nothing, again, that's actually creating demand. And so here's the thing, is if you want to create consistent inbound leads, if you want to create a business that stands on its own, if you want to build a social media presence that actually creates demand, that actually like brings people in that want to talk to you, that want to book in calls with you, that do want to actually learn about your program, you have to fix your content, right? You have to show up as someone who has a real message. We're not just posting random things. You have to have unique perspectives. In other words, like you have to actually know what you're talking about, and you have to speak to problems and pain points that people are experiencing, right? So we can no longer just do all of this random throwing stuff out there. Like we have to actually follow an ordered process. So it's your dream client, you know, their brainwaves when they see your content, like it should just be like brainwaves, just like off the charts, right? It's kind of like a radio dial. It's like when you dial the radio, you tune other things out and you tune into certain like radio stations and you hear only that music. So to everyone else, it should be like that radio dial just gets turned off and you just go completely silent and they can't hear you. But to your ideal client, when they land on your profile, it should just be like fireworks going off in their head, which is why, like I talk about this a lot, but like likes ain't cash, followers aren't clients. So many people are trying to go viral right now. Like they're focused on all the wrong things. They're trying to be everything for everyone. And what ends up happening is they speak, they're nothing for no one. All right. We have to speak to a specific dream client. And that content has to take them so deep that they're willing and ready to pay you $2,000, $3,000, $5,000, $10,000 to actually want to join your program. So first we have to fix the offer. We have to actually get clear on like, what are we even selling here? What's the unique positioning of this thing? How do we package this thing up in a way that it stands out? Then we have to make sure that we're actually marketing this thing effectively and we're not just regurgitating and just putting out random content. Like we have to actually create a message. The third piece then to creating predictable control and consistency inside of your business, your client signing, your lead generation, is we have to install systems. So lots of coaches, they are great at what it is they do, but they just don't have consistent sales calls in the calendar. Like you can have the best program in the world. You can be the best coach in the world. You can be the #1 person in your space at doing what it is you do. But if you are not getting consistent sales calls, if you are not consistently enrolling people into this program, and I'm not talking about having to enroll like 40 people a month. Like if you're not consistently enrolling 3, 4, 5, 6 people every single month on repeat, predictably, consistently into your business, you're never going to be able to grow and scale this thing at the level that you could. So you can post and post and post, but again, if you're not getting people in the program, it doesn't matter. Growth requires systems in the same way that you don't just throw your clients into some, you don't just tell them like, oh, just go to the gym and just do whatever you want, right? You give them structure, you give them order, you give them a program, you show them exactly what we're going to do, you periodize that thing, there's structure and there's an actual program and there's something to follow. Your business is going to grow in the same way. You need daily plans. It needs to be clear, cut, and dry, that you know exactly how to start conversations, you know how to book in calls, you know how to land clients. All of this without just waking up every single month and just like guessing. And that's what most coaches are doing right now, is they're just waking up. And it's probably what you're doing right now if you're watching this. You probably just feel like you kind of wake up, you throw some ideas out there, you kind of hope things work, get to the end of the month. If it doesn't work, rinse and repeat, go back to the drawing board, you come up with a new idea, you throw that thing out there. At the end of the day, if you are serious about growing a business, you need to know exactly what to do, when to do it, how to do it. It can't be random or left up to chance. It needs to be a system. It needs to be a process. It needs to be something that we can measure. It needs to be something that we can visually chart out in flow charts on something like this, right? I'm going to walk kind of through what this looks like. Like there needs to be order in the chaos if you're actually serious about growing a consistent business and scaling. So for instance, this kind of summarizes up the whole like content plan that I was just talking through. It's like you have your offer. And I believe that each and every one of us, we have some sort of mission. Like nobody just gets into coaching. It's kind of this weird thing if you actually think about it. Like it's not a normal kind of like career to get into. And so I believe that every single person that gets into coaching, it's because we have some sort of mission. We see something that we want to change in the world. We see something that we want to make better. And that thing is something that we have authority over. We obsessed over it. We learned about it. We went through courses on it. We fixed, maybe this is a problem that we were fixing on our own. Like we went through our own journey of trying to lose fat or to build muscle or to getting stronger, or holistic solutions, fixing our gut health, fixing our hormones. It's something that we've just obsessed over. We've done a ton of research on. We've done a ton of trial error on. And we've created our own unique beliefs and worldviews around this thing. And that's where we need to package this up. We need to take our mission, this thing that we're really good at, this thing that we're world class at, and we need to package it up into our own unique branded process. And this is what this unique person, problem, promise process is. We have to package this thing up into a unique process. Your ideal client, they have a current situation. That current situation is they're out of shape, they're out of momentum, they're not seeing the kind of progress they want. But there's an ideal situation where they're in shape, they're in momentum, they're crushing it, they're killing it, and it's ultimately like where it is they want to be. And standing in between where they're at and where they want to be is a bunch of problems. If we can solve those problems and we can solve them in our own unique way, people will sign up and they would join our program. And so when it comes to our content, first of all, with the offer, we just have to get super clear on what this actually looks like. What's the problems we're going to solve? How are we actually going to solve them? And then we can reflect this into our content. So we can take all the problems and the frustrations and the dreams and the desires of our ideal client, and we just begin to effectively show up as the respected leader. All right, this is the respected leader content marketing. We show up and we actually communicate these things to people in a way that stands out. We make direct offers, lead magnets, results marketing, authority post, leadership content, a hero story. These are all different archetypes and pieces of content that we're posting that, again, are reflecting and speaking directly to the ideal client, to the things that they're experiencing. And this is how we actually communicate to them that, hey, I understand who you are, I understand what you're struggling with, and I can help. I have a process, I have a program, I have an offer that can actually help you with this. Now, this is just an example. I know I don't have time to I have entire trainings and e-courses on all of this stuff. So I don't have time to actually properly go in and teach each individual little piece of this. But this is just an example of this is just the marketing. This is just a marketing flow chart of how to actually effectively put yourself out there on social media. The thing is that this needs to be done for all 7 key systems inside of your business. These 7 key systems really can be boiled down to 3 big key systems or pillars rather, which is you have fulfillment, which comes down to the offer really. It's what are we marketing? What are we selling? And then also how are we delivering on that? So what's the program? How are we selling the program? How are we delivering the program? We have acquisition, which really comes down to all of our lead generation, our content creation, our call booking, our actual sales and closing people. We have operations, which is all of the systems and the processes, the SOPs, all the internal things that we're using to track KPIs, to track client success, to track things like client journeys. It's like the actual systems and processes. You have to like this system right here. This is just like the marketing and social media. If you want to grow a business that grows and scales, you really want to create a system and you want to process, again, all key 7 systems of your business that are needed to actually make sure that, hey, clients are being signed and your business is growing consistently. And so again, I only had a few minutes. I'm going to go ahead and cut this one off here. I don't want this to be too long. I wanted to just give you a brief high level overview of, again, what it is we're doing to grow businesses. The big thing that I would really just want to drive home is that, if you want to build a real business, you're going to have to really get, this is the next step. Just using the beginner tactics, they're great to get you started. Just hey, here's a content plan, here's a DM script, get out there and just start doing some stuff. If you want to grow and scale and you're serious about really getting this business to take off, to be consistent, to be predictable, to be sustainable, then this is the way that you need to be thinking. You need to be thinking about, how do I create systems? How do I create operations? How do I streamline all of this? How do I define all this stuff and make it so that when I'm waking up every single day, there's order, that it's not chaotic, that I'm not just winging, that I'm not just guessing, but all of this stuff is systematized. So next steps from here, if this stuff is clicking with you and you're dude, this is really cool, I'd like to learn more. I'd like to at least just talk to you at minimum and understand better what it is you do, how it is you help people. Then I would love to chat. And if you're feeling stuck right now, you know that you're great at what you do, but again, your content's not working, your DMs are dry, you're just not getting enough calls on the calendar. This is what I help coaches fix inside of my program. So it's called the Content Client System. This is, again, how it is that we are fixing feast or famine sales months. It's how we're creating consistent, predictable growth so that you can scale, that you can grow, that you can go from being overworked to in control. You can go from guessing and just kind of winging things to actually having a predictable process, and how you can go from just being a coach to being a respected leader who has a thriving business that's actually growing and that's scaling, and that you can ultimately get where it is you want to be and you can build a real business. So if that sounds like the shift that you're needing, if this sounds like something you'd be interested in talking more about, go ahead, send me a DM me the word clients. I'd love to show you how all this works. You can find me at @TellFisher over on Instagram. Again, just shoot me a DM. And other than that, I'll plan to just talk to you soon. So hopefully it's helpful. And like I said, we'll chat soon. Peace.